Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate ringsidenews.com. Got your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. Let's get started here with the first one today from Epic Story 29. Do you think that there is a slight chance that Rusev might beat Cena at WrestleMania? That would really surprise me. One would think that Rusev would beat Cena in at least one of the two matches. Logical reasoning would tell you that Rusev wins at Fastlane and Cena gets his win back at WrestleMania. I don't see Rusev beating Cena at WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania, it's the big show of the year, and John Cena has to look good at WrestleMania. I don't see WWE taking that match and having Rusev get a win over Cena because Cena is their long-term investment and they need to keep him looking as strong as possible. And I always felt that if it's Rusev versus Cena, Cena would be the guy to end the undefeated streak of Rusev. Now, one thing that would not surprise me is if John Cena not only beat Rusev at WrestleMania, but beats him at Fastlane too. I mean, that's how WWE does things. I would be very unsurprised if John Cena defeated Rusev at Fastlane by disqualification or count out, and then at WrestleMania Cena beats Rusev. That would not surprise me at all, and that could very well happen. So if Rusev gets one victory over John Cena at Fastlane, then that's a good thing, and people should be happy about that at least, because I think that would be better than what could very well end up happening. Alright, this one comes from Adam Illusion. Hey Aaron, with WrestleMania 32 being announced for Texas, what are the chances we see Undertaker, HBK, and Stone Cold compete in matches? Personally, I feel WWE should push hard to get all three Texans on the show if they want to break the indoor attendance record. Well, that is definitely a goal for WWE. They could very well break that record, their own record of 93,000, and they could inflate the number. They could say, oh, we have 100,000 people there. Even if they don't, they do it all the time. But they certainly want to get as many people in that building as possible. You want to have something special for this WrestleMania in Texas. Stone Cold coming out of retirement for one more match seems like the perfect storyline for that WrestleMania. But Austin has shown no indication of wanting to get back in the ring. Now, of course, he can be downplaying it. So if he does come back, it'll be more of a surprise. That's certainly a possibility. I think WWE will make a push for all three to be on the show. It wouldn't make sense for all three of them to be in matches because you want to focus on one guy's story. You don't want to have all three of them in matches. They all lose importance if each one of them has a match. But you could definitely have Shawn Michaels there in a non-wrestling role. You can have Undertaker go into the Hall of Fame, and then you can have Stone Cold wrestle. Seems like that would be the best way to have those guys be involved at WrestleMania. And if Austin doesn't do the match, you can always have Undertaker maybe in a farewell match, or Shawn Michaels come out of retirement for one more match. But same thing with Austin. Michaels has really shown no interest publicly in wanting to get back in the ring. But WWE, I'm sure, will do whatever it takes to make that WrestleMania as big as possible to possibly break that attendance record. Alright, this one comes from GTFO, it's Dave. Could we possibly see Roman Reigns turn heel and possibly join the Authority? I would not really want to see Roman Reigns join the Authority because, for one thing, I'm tired of the Authority. I think the storyline needs to end, and I sound like a broken record here. I remember saying this a year ago, that the Authority storyline has run its course and it needs to end. And Roman Reigns joining them would just drag it on even longer. So I'm not a fan of that. And I think if Roman Reigns goes heel, I think he's better off with Paul Heyman. I've gotten questions about that. I think that would be a good pairing, especially if Brock Lesnar is leaving the company after WrestleMania. And if Roman Reigns goes heel, I think he could definitely benefit from a mouthpiece. And, Paul Heyman could put all of his focus on Roman Reigns. And one of the problems with previous Paul Heyman guys is Brock Lesnar has always been the focal point. And, guys like Curtis Axel and Ryback, they were secondary. With Roman Reigns, he would be the Paul Heyman guy, and I think he would do well in that situation. All right, this one comes from Favor Dave. Do you think the announcer's puffery is partially responsible for turning people against Reigns? They've been saying how powerful Roman Reigns is since his Shield days, but we never see him doing anything impressive like Cena or Cesaro. Show, don't tell. Well, I definitely think that that is part of it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. The announcers and how they portray Roman Reigns, how the writers portray him, the Looney Tunes promos, and just the fact that he hasn't really done all that much. He won Superstar of the Year, but what match of the years was he in? He was in that tag match with the Shield against the Wyatt family, but that was it. What has he done since the breakup of the Shield? He was aligned against Seth Rollins. The two of them had a feud for a while, and then he got hurt. He was gone for a couple months. He came back, and all of a sudden, he's being built up for the Royal Rumble, and he's doing all these goofy promos. He didn't have a bunch of experience and any kind of memorable matches or feuds as a singles competitor, and I think that that definitely contributes to the fan backlash, the fact that he hasn't really had these kind of matches, and he hasn't had any kind of significant storylines since the Shield broke up. All right, got this question here from Edgehead1995. Hey Aaron, love the show, great work. Thank you for that. What do you think about the future of Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose? I think Wyatt will be world champ and Ambrose could be. Do you see either of them being champion? And how can Ambrose rise to the main event star he deserves to be? Well, right now, I would say it's unlikely that either guy becomes world champion anytime soon. I think that longevity will help increase the chances of one of them someday becoming champion if they stay towards the top of the main event and they continue to be a factor in WWE for several years. One day they might get the opportunity. Right now, it doesn't seem like there's any indication that either guy will be world champion. Bray Wyatt's getting a big push right now, but there's all the speculation that it's because of the Undertaker, and they're building up for that match. With Dean Ambrose, I mean, to me, it's very clear that WWE doesn't see him as a top guy, at least right now. That can all change. If guys get hurt, there's so many factors. Eventually, like I said, if Dean Ambrose is around and he continues to do well in WWE, he continues to have good matches and good promos, one day they might give him the ball. It's certainly a possibility. Right now, I don't think it's going to happen anytime in the near future. This one comes from Vic Venom Lives. Greetings, Aaron. With Rikishi now going into the WWE Hall of Fame, I was wondering what you thought was the most hilarious stink face moment. In my opinion, it was William Regal at Judgment Day 2001. His facial expressions were priceless. Well, that was definitely one of the best. Anything with William Regal and his facial reactions to something. I mean, he's always been tremendous. The one that I find to be the most memorable is when Vince McMahon got the stink face. He was doing the Kiss My Ass Club, and he finally got the tide turned on him, and The Rock was there. The Rock and Rikishi got together, and Rikishi gave Vince the stink face. So Vince got a taste of his own medicine. So to me, that was the most memorable one. But there were a lot, definitely. The stink face was one of the most popular spots during the Attitude Era. And I got asked about Rikishi. Wait a minute, where is that question? I don't even think I have it here. But a bunch of people asked me about Rikishi going to the Hall of Fame and does he deserve it or not. That is debatable. Rikishi was a big star, no pun intended, in WWE. He had a lot of success, but it was a fairly short period of time. He was very hot as a babyface, and then they turned him heel with that really lame angle where he was the driver that hit Stone Cold, and that did not work at all. That was a complete flop. And, they turned him babyface again, but it just wasn't the same. He never really regained the momentum. So he was a memorable star of the Attitude Era. Is he Hall of Fame material? I mean, it's certainly debatable. I'm really on the fence about it personally. And it feels to me like it's somewhat of a political move because you have the Usos in WWE right now, and, they can have the Usos induct him and their father into the Hall of Fame. It does feel a bit political. But he was a memorable character, so you could really make an argument either way, I think. Anyways, moving on here from JJ Scoops. Hey, Aaron, got a question here from East London, England. Why would anybody think Daniel Bryan could beat Lesnar if Bryan beats Lesnar? Doesn't that just say that Bryan is able to beat Undertaker's streak? Please answer in video. Well, definitely that point of view is something that a lot of people bring up, and that is one argument why you could say Daniel Bryan shouldn't be in there with Brock Lesnar, because it's just not credible enough for a guy the size of Daniel Bryan to beat Brock Lesnar. But then again, it is that whole classic David and Goliath storyline that WWE could tell, and it would be a huge feel-good moment for Daniel Bryan to somehow overcome the odds and beat Brock Lesnar. But he doesn't really need it. I mean, I think Roman Reigns could definitely benefit from beating Brock Lesnar, or somebody who isn't quite at the top yet. That could be the big victory to put that person over the top. So, there's still a chance we could see Roman Reigns beat Bryan and go on and beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. WWE just hoping in the long run it'll work out, and they're going to take their chance with that. And final question here from Rexo619. Hey, Aaron, love the show. My question is, do you think WWE may do a fatal four-way elimination match like at WrestleMania 16, but for this year's WrestleMania, and it's been 13 years since that day, or 15 years, but for WWE heavyweight title? Okay, I'm not sure what you were saying here, but basically what you were saying is, do you think they'll do something similar to WrestleMania 16, fatal four-way match? That is definitely a possibility. I mean, it would not surprise me at all if we see some sort of screw job or non-finish at Fastlane where there's no clear-cut winner, there's controversy, and WWE sets up a triple threat match for WrestleMania. That's certainly a possibility. And, one thing they could do is, there's been all the talk about Seth Rollins and Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins could come out, the triple threat match gets made. Seth Rollins can come out and he can say, he wants to cash in at WrestleMania. He wants to be in the main event, so he's not going to do a surprise or anything. He's going to cash it in and be in the main event at WrestleMania and earn the WWE title. They could definitely do something like that in WWE, have Rollins come out, make it a fatal four-way. That is certainly a big possibility. And, I would actually be fine with that, because as there's been all the talk that Vince McMahon didn't want to do a triple threat match 2 years in a row, and I can see that viewpoint. I can understand that. So why not do a fatal four-way match? That would be changing it up a bit, and it hasn't been done at WrestleMania in 15 years. And with that kind of match, you're guaranteed. I mean, with the triple threat, it's going to be great. With the fatal four-way with Rollins in there, I mean, it's going to be an awesome match, and the crowd heat will be unbelievable for that. And it would prevent Roman Reigns getting booed too much, I think. And you could do that match, and it would help Reigns, if anything, and he could still win at the end. And yes, he would probably get some boos winning the match, but that would be better than the crowd just crapping on the whole match if it's Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar one-on-one. So WWE just has to decide if they want to take a risk with a one-on-one match. A fatal four-way match might be a much better option at this point. You're guaranteed a great match, and there wouldn't be as much heat on Roman Reigns, at least during most of the match. It would be the end if he won, that people would be upset, or maybe even not if the match is really good. So that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW, and I will see you guys next time.